Welcome back to Underground Nutrition After Hours, episode number
33.
33. It's a sacred number.
It is. 3 is my favorite number, so I'm a big fan of 33.
That's when Jesus died.
I can lunge all over the place. Yes.
I'm Scott, owner of Underground Nutrition. We have a few supplement stores, and we're online, www.undergroundnutritionnj.com. Buy stuff. This is John, and this is Justin, owner of Paramount Gym, a little boutique gym right here in the great state of New Jersey.
Sure is.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Scott.
What's going on, buddy?
So how does it feel now, the episode after we became famous?
Oh, man. It's hard work.
It's a little somber. I feel like there's I don't know if it's Donnie's fault, but I feel like there's a little somberness in the
It's
air.
like, what do we do now? It's like we peaked, you know?
Yeah.
John's calling me and saying, who should we get on the show next? We should reach out to,
Some big names.
name somebody who has.
I want to interview 1090 Jake.
Yeah, 1090 Jake. He said we should. The gang member. For anybody who doesn't know, 1090 Jake is just a gang member.
I don't know if that would go over well with our fan base.
We're getting into some beefy waters here.
I like that.
We're gonna keep it up with the beef.
What's beef?
Street beef, beef sticks.
Beef sticks, beef stew. We should play. Can you put the Biggie song, What's Beef?
Can you not ever
Yeah, do that.
do that, please?
Hip-hop
Over
gets-
the
Copyright it. I'm sure it's.
you can
Yeah.
find a non-royalty.
I'll send it to you. It's a good one. Go ahead. So what's beef? What's the beef,
Talk
Scott?
to us.
Well,
Seth
I don't
Rogen.
think it's beef. I'm going to give the whole rundown of my perspective of it, and then you guys can. And the reason why I'm even bringing it up is not just to be a little drama queen. It's because I think we've both been in this situation before. And I think it's a little interesting. There is a gym called Lifter's Lair in Brick. They are pretty new, about 6 months, a year,
I would say in between that, yeah.
somewhere around that. We're friends with the owner, Corey, great guy.
Very nice dude.
We've hung out with him. I'm a member of his gym because it's close to me. I don't get there as often as I should, but he's been out to Paramount.
He has. He came out to support one of our events, our first event.
Yeah,
Very nice
on
guy.
very short notice.
good guy.
Yeah.
And he opened a gym in a very interesting area in Ocean Township. Oh, I'm sorry, in Ocean County, and he kind of filled a void. There was no gym like that any longer, in my opinion. The Toms River Brick area was lacking for lack of a better word, an Iron Revolution style gym.
A boutique style gym. Yeah. It was all
High
corporate.
end.
Yep.
Nice locker rooms, great equipment, big.
Yep.
Tons of stuff to
Good
do.
music, yeah.
Posing room. I call it, I call it the Iron Revolution of the South, and I'm not saying that derogatory. I'm saying that
I don't understand how one wouldn't take that derogatory.
how
I'm just kidding. No, it was people they're sick and tired of the commercial gyms, and it was the breath of fresh air that Ocean County needed.
yeah. And so I was at the gym before they were opened. I got to know him pretty well. I saw everything that kind of went into it. He's a really good guy. He's one of us for people who knows what that means. And and just recently, a gym similar. Now, hear me out before everybody jumps down my throat. Similar style gym, Attila's, opens less than a mile away. Just recently, couple
Like a
days ago.
block away?
Well, you could walk there. I mean, it's about a mile away.
I wouldn't walk.
You would
I'd take the car.
Not
Yeah.
in brick.
But I mean, yeah, not on that. But Attila's is pretty well known. They have a few different locations, but it's still like mom and pop. They were putting in a lot of fancy equipment. They were trying to build that place out as nice as possible. And if you were paying attention to the social medias, it seemed like maybe there was a little shade being thrown about American-made products and, a little bit of that, like, nothing like it in the area kind of thing. And
Yeah.
Now I've never trained with any of the Attilas. I don't think Attilas obviously got big because of the Ian Smith thing over the pandemic.
Now that's something I've never really figured out the answer to. Were they like big before that? Because that was the first I ever heard of them.
Yeah, no, Attila's was. They're in Egg Harbor, and they were in Belvoir, but
Belmore.
Wildwood too, I think.
They have a few different locations.
By no fault of their own, I associate them with the COVID Ian Smith, which left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Not because of what they did, just because of the way he behaved.
Well,
on social
they
media.
parted ways with him. Since.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know that they've parted ways with him. That was probably a wise business decision. I stress by no fault of their own. Because that was my first impression. You know, like they say first impressions last forever.
Yeah.
That's my first impression of Attilas.
Yeah. Well, and I think I don't know the guy's name. I do. I follow him on on Instagram. I've been watching him because it's close to my house, and I'm sort of interested in what type of gym that they build. I believe his two sons are going to be running that location. From like a Instagram vibe, from what I can see, looks like they're putting in some nice equipment in there. But there's a little bit of an arms race going on. I know Lifter's Layer's been. I think today he read off a 15-piece list,
20
of Atlas pieces or Atlantis pieces,
top of the line
Atlantis pieces. Whereas Attila's has more, in my opinion, more of a 90s old school bodybuilding feel. They have like the old school bodybuilders on the wall. It's a different color scheme. I know, like Rich Gaspari was there on their grand opening. Like
I saw that.
That kind of like, Staten Island 90s bodybuilding kind of vibe, which some people are super into, especially in that area. You got a lot of Staten Islanders who migrated down that way. And then Lifter's Lair, which is more.
Well, I think it's worth mentioning that they took over that retro that closed out of nowhere.
Yes.
And that retro fitness that's next to one of your competitors was the spot for the bennies. You know, the people that come down, spend their summers in Ocean County, like they went to that retro for whatever reason. That retro, I guess, was, I don't know if it was a matter of convenience or if it was very well respected, but it was that was the summer spot.
I mean, there isn't a ton of options down there.
Yeah,
there isn't there's L.A. and 24 Hour down there. What was the one that closed that you were looking at?
we looked at the what was it, Justin? Anytime? The Anytime
Fitness.
Yeah, by the park and ride, the transit parking lot.
As soon as you get off 90.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ocean County is probably like a step or two behind stuff going on a little bit north in Monmouth County. So they finally got like a Lifter's Lair, which is like I said, it's not anything like Iron Revolution, but similar in that it's a mom and pop, high end equipment, posing room, good lighting. It's designed for the modern
gym. It
the
coincides.
modern gym experience. A little bit like what you guys do.
Yeah, it coincides with the emphasis on social media in the fitness community these days.
Right.
It's aesthetically pleasing.
Now, as a friend, Corey's a friend of mine. I'm kind of watching this, and what I didn't want to do was like what people would do to me, or like call him up and be like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah,
because he's fine. I'm sure he's fine. He's got a great membership base there, but it's not a good feeling being like the only gym like
show
that,
in town. Yeah,
the only show in town, and then suddenly having, no better word for it, competition.
a respected name too,
and a name that people know, right? And then it's hard to not feel slighted. Probably it's hard to, but what it does, I was thinking about this earlier. What it does is it creates one of the very few things that the free market capitalism produces, is that it's going to make for better experiences for members,
on both ends,
because they're going to try to outdo each other, essentially, and who wins on that? The members,
the consumer.
Yeah, it's the consumer.
The consumer.
So I thought that was a little interesting. I was kind of like, I watched some of the videos. It wasn't any like overt shade being thrown by any party. but I definitely got a feeling that the American-made stuff by Attila's was sort of directed at maybe the big box gyms or possibly his competition.
Which is strange because everything in
I mean, the American Steel. I mean, maybe it's put together in America, but I would guarantee that most of the steel is being,
I mean, I was going to
brought
say
in from
that
China.
100%.
the relentless stuff that he started with.
That shit's not from America.
No,
No,
the
well,
Relentless,
I mean, it's a 2-week turnaround, so
it doesn't need to be. I mean,
it's in America when you call for it. When you order
Right.
it, it's in America if it's there in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but he filled that gym. When he was getting open, he filled that gym with Relentless. So I trained there. I've trained on the Relentless stuff, and I've read some of the negative reviews about Relentless in general. But he has gotten away from. I think he got the best pieces that Relentless put out, and then he started to bring in all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah.
And he read off a list today that was like literally 15 pieces of Atlantis stuff.
Yeah, it was an impressive,
I don't know where
impressive roster.
I don't know where the fuck he's gonna put it all. This place is pretty packed.
Yeah,
as
I
it
would
is.
imagine he's switching stuff out.
He's got to be swapping shit out.
So the reason why I bring this up is the same sort of thing happened to me, but it's sort of in reverse. And a lot of people know the story. And I feel for Corey because no matter what he says, it's still something you have to think about. It's like potentially taking food off your table.
Yeah.
So when I opened my second location, I had signed a lease before we broke ground. Some people know the story. And it took about a year and a half. And about 2 months before we were about to open, another, mom and pop supplement store opened 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
Not even. And there was no reconciling that. He got open before us. He already had roots in the town. And it killed us out there, killed the vibe out there. We were never, ever really able to take off out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you guys.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
so the other end of the spectrum is us. You couldn't get off the ground or maybe not get off the ground, but you didn't want to get where you were trying to go with that location because of the other person. I don't know how long after we opened, John, did
Well, let me ask
gym-
you a question. So you guys sign a lease, and you're opening. How long after that process did you find out that a similar gym is going to be,
I think
less
it was
than 10
pretty
minutes away?
quickly.
It was pretty quick.
The first I ever heard of it was one day was Steve Krug told me in the pit.
Okay.
He had mentioned it,
I remember that.
and I was
actually.
like, "What?" And I
Yeah.
pulled up Instagram, but I mean, we signed the lease in May. We were open on February 5th. So, what's that? 8 months, and we were supposed to be open
October.
in October.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And
times.
I remember I can almost like literally feel myself in that moment, but I remember sitting in Iron Revolution working out with Justin and saying to him, if not word for word, something similar, saying like, this is the new thing. We could be next. Or we could be fifth down the line. But this is next. This is the new thing.
Yeah.
And it was the new thing,
You're talking about
that style gym,
the style gym
the style gym.
that looks
gym.
good on Instagram.
Yes.
High end equipment.
Yes.
A little bit more expensive than a big box gym, but a better experience,
Environment.
a better
more
environment.
serious environment.
Yeah, less corporate. More tailored towards the members than tailored towards big profits.
Yes.
Right. So, so you guys are in the process of getting open, and then you find out that a gym very similar with not similar equipment, but different, but it's that type of feel where
New
it's-
age equipment. Yeah.
Yeah, where good
Was
lighting
opening in a location that we looked at.
that you guys looked
That
at.
we looked at. Yeah.
10 minutes
Yeah.
down the road.
Yeah. So so suddenly now you're thinking like, shit, I got to split a demographic,
Yep.
Yes.
and then it becomes beef in the streets.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation with you. It was you, me, us two, us three. Alan was there.
Yeah.
Charlie was there. Eric, our builder, was there, and we were having a conversation over dinner one night, and we were talking about like the throwing shade back and forth, and like the beef, and you know, because you're right. Ultimately, you know, when you have competition, every dollar that your competition makes is potentially your
a dollar
money.
you didn't
Your
make.
money. Yes,
Yep.
yeah, absolutely. And I remember you breaking that down to somebody that we know recently. But you know, Charlie gave really good advice, and Charlie, ultimately, I don't remember what he said word for word, but ultimately he expressed that he was so confident in the service that he provided, in the experience that he provided, that there was no need, that the desire to talk shit was not there.
Yeah.
It was, who am I?
I'm the
Who-
opposite.
No, I know you
We know
are.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that.
I just want to run my mouth.
I'm
and
not
make
like
things
that, and I
uncomfortable.
think Justin's even less like that.
Yeah, no, I like tension. I like high tension situations.
Yeah.
I like to
Over time,
talk
obviously,
shit.
you know, depending on how far it gets, but like the initial shade that was thrown by a competitor of yours, teaming up with the gym that you're talking about, kind of throwing shade at us, like it was laughable. You know, it was laughable.
Well, at the time, it wasn't laughable.
It wasn't. We were nervous.
Well,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna. I was nervous.
Yeah, because I mean, I was upset. I mean, just so there's some background here. My main store, my mother's store, is in Marlboro, which is about 15 minutes from your gym. I'm about to put a supplement shop in their little gym because we're friends and like, why not?
Yeah.
And then we find out that not only do you have a competitor, but he's working closely with who I consider
Your competitor.
my competitor,
Yeah.
even though
Who's not even from town. Like, not even local.
not even local. So I'm like, oh shit, shots fired.
beef.
And I had, long
There
story.
was actually like some dumb stuff like that I saw shared around, like actual, like even, I mean, it was still subliminal, but it was a little bit more direct about like at Iron too, because during that time Iron was in the process of revamping, resizing.
They were a much smaller
expanding,
gym back
yeah.
then. Yeah.
So there was shade about like expanding and people in Mattawan, which was us, obviously, because nobody else is in Mattawan, unless they were talking about Ovox, which I don't think they were. And yeah, no, it left for. I think it was tense because we were worried. I guess it was natural.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you be worried?
Natural concern. I was tense all the way up until like
You build a thing, and you're not you're unsure if people are gonna like it. But now all those people have an option to compare it to.
Yeah.
Right down the street, of course.
and I did my best to take Charlie's advice. I kept my mouth shut. I did the best I could on the product, on perfecting the product that we offered.
Yeah.
And we came out of the gate, in my opinion, pretty strong. Not even to without not even stroking your ego, but I said it from the start. Like, we didn't want to do this if you guys weren't involved.
Yeah.
I wanted a grip on your customer base, because of
The success you
the
had.
grassroots success that you guys had.
Yeah, well, my demographics are your demographics and vice versa. So us having a partnership, me having a partnership with any gym makes sense for everybody, but especially your friends.
Yeah.
So I was I was in the same boat as you. I was worried for you guys, and I was also super annoyed that my competition from 40 minutes away was now going to be in my backyard trying to do the same thing I'm doing right down the street. And all of that worry and almost a fist fight in your gym for nothing.
It just vanished, and without being too I don't even mean it in an insulting, it just worked out. It's just it never got off the ground.
Yeah, I had like the wait and see approach, just like I was all right with. I know John was a little nervous, and obviously I was a little bit tense
The wind
too.
makes me
I was
nervous.
taking a little trend back then. I think.
Yeah,
So
like I just
I was ready to just
dude. I just
blow my
had
top.
faith. I had faith in our product, like John said, and I just knew with you guys on board and the success that we had from jump that nothing was going to derail this train.
Yeah, and that would be my advice to to Corey, my friend, and I think that he, we've talked a little bit. We didn't get into too much detail about anything because this was going back a couple months ago. But for anybody, it's just don't focus on your competition. Focus on making the best possible product, and then you don't have any
Control
competition.
what you can control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
I was at a friend's house last night for a birthday party down by you and by Lifter's Lair, and people were talking. The topic of Paramount came up, and there were some people that I hadn't seen in a while, and they were asking questions and this, that, and the third, and then obviously you get like the whole like, oh, I wish you were closer. I'd be, that kind of, which is they're nice sentiments, but my response to all of them was, Lifter's Lair's 5 minutes out. You want that experience. Lifter's Lair's 5 minutes down the road from here. You should. I urge you to check it out.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, it's a nice gym, and like I said, I don't have anything against any of the guys from Attila's. I don't know them, and I never trained in a facility. On Instagram, it looks like it's going to be a nice gym. It looks like they, but it's got a specific vibe. It's got like it definitely has that '90s Staten Island bodybuilder vibe, which a lot of people like. I think the older crowd, maybe plus 35, serious bodybuilders.
Yeah,
I think that they may enjoy that atmosphere a little bit more than lifters, but it's hard to tell. It's all going to come down to like how the staff treats people, what type of training programs they offer, and what their equipment is like, what the maintenance of the place is like, how big is it, that kind of stuff.
I never realized how big that location was down there.
I thought it was small,
It's not.
but apparently it's not.
No, it looks pretty big. Whatever, man. Corey, just do your thing, continue what you're doing, and
Breathe
probably
life into gay SS, that's for sure.
Yeah.
JSS.
What?
What did I say?
Oh man, I like that.
You
just
gotta
wait.
beep that word out. We
Listen,
don't use that word.
What?
Just wait. Hold the line.
Hold the line.
Everything will be fine, and your gym will be doing great, and maybe your
Hopefully there's
competition will be having like 15 members and no sound system.
Or
'cause
hopefully
they
there's
can't
enough
play
money
music.
for everybody and everybody can eat, but that's usually not how it goes.
Well, he had such a strong takeoff that he had gyms that had already been open. We're calling him and asking to collab,
Yeah,
Do collaboration.
whatever that means.
right. We're still waiting for a collab.
I don't think it's
Wonder
going
if they're
to
gonna
come.
collab
We're
with
gonna
us.
collab on a sick Instagram post with Scott tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Donnie?
So that's it.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm gonna
beat.
block Donnie so we can't see it.
That's the beef on the sheet.
So we can just talk about the next segment.
That's fine.
I mean, that's the beef in the streets. I don't even know if it's beef. It's
It ain't
just
beef. It's dead. If the other person's dead, if the other,
no. I'm talking about Jesus.
sorry.
I'm talking about
them.
the Attila's Lifter's Lair. It's
Nah.
not even. It's not beef.
It's not beef.
He
We're
got
just-
his in his mouth and got
Yeah, I
super
got 6
brolic.
milligrams, and
But
I'm excited.
It's not beef, but it. I mean, look, I'm not stupid. I know what's going on. They're very close, offering a similar product.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. There's going to be some bumping heads, for sure.
Yeah.
I bang with Corey. That's
There's a
my
lot.
guy.
There's a lot. There's a lot
my
down
guy.
there. There's a lot going on down there. You got JSS. You got Nitro Nick. 2 supplement shops down there. You have Attila's. You have Lifter's Lair.
You guys fuck with Nitro Nick, right?
Yeah. He buys like wholesale of
Yeah.
like the Hollow and
Word.
Parabola stuff. He used to work for me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right. He's cool.
I think one of the things that I'm most grateful for that, in terms of for you guys, it is that, us hitching our cart to you or you hitching your cart to us or whatever you want to call it, it drastically reduced the revolving door, the people coming in, trying to make $1, the leeches or the succubuses, I think we talked about it last episode.
There was already territory.
It was already established,
And then
I
the-
guess that kind of made
and the
some
couple people that were coming in the beginning with Aries t-shirts on or like other I'm like I'm just talking shit.
Yo,
I'm like, you gotta fucking go with that shit. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
miss
What do
me
you
with
think
that
this
shit,
is?
bro. You
And
don't think I
that
know what
dude
you're
never
doing?
came back to the gym again. There's people in this industry are such pussies and they're such snakes. It just needs to be said.
Yeah.
And you think like all these bodybuilders, like always, like you got all this muscle and shit. They can't fight. They can't be confronted. And if you pull their card, you'll never see them again. There was a kid down. Remember Youssef down in Jersey Shore Supplement Shop? I beat his ass. He never came back.
No, that was Fitness Shop.
Jersey Shore Fitness Shop.
I only saw him once, and that was at your house. That was even before I was
Yeah,
friends with you.
he never showed
when
up
I was
again.
there with
Beat
your
him up?
roommate.
I beat the dog shit out of him right in the middle of the street in Belmar.
That's awesome.
He was
Yeah.
a big boy too.
Beat his ass. Bro. I snuck him. I came up behind him. Fucking. I called his name. Turned around. Bop.
Really?
Yeah, you never think you're gonna get punched in the face in the middle of the street, but you are.
Was John with
He was
you?
a bouncer. I was
Were you
driving.
with him?
I wasn't friends with him at
I'll
the
tell
time.
you. I'll tell you the story. Okay, I'll just real quick. I used to. He was a friend of mine, like a satellite friend.
Sure.
He had been in my house,
Jim,
right?
bro.
And he did some dirty shit, bro. He called the girl that I was talking to, try to like put me on blast because he saw me with somebody else, right?
Bitch ass motherfucker.
So the girl called me and said, "Yo, guess who just called me?" Whatever. So I saw him at the gym, and I said, "I don't." He had some like kids with him. I was like, "What?" I said, "Who does anything like that? Why would you even?
Yeah.
You know, what's wrong with you?" And so we talked shit. I didn't want to do anything in the gym.
What did he say in the gym? I don't remember that part. I
He was
remember
like-
his friend. He's standing there, and you were like, "What are you gonna do? What are you standing here for?"
Nothing. It was just like I was like, I'm not going to do anything in the gym, but I said, I'll see you. I'll see you when and this is a true story. It's just how I am. I don't care. I'm not unapologetic about it. And one day I was driving. I was actually on the phone with the girl that he had like tried to like mess up, like say some shit to. And I was like, oh, guess who's crossing the street?
Just so happened.
And so I parked the car. He was security for Bar A.
Bar A, I think, or the boathouse.
And he was walking with some girl, and I parked my car, tied my shoes up. I came running up behind him, and I called his name out. And when he turned around, I fucking snuck him. And I punched him in his face, blacked his eye, went to the ground, got up, walked to my car, and he posted on Instagram that he had gotten jumped at work. He put a picture of his eye.
Right.
I never saw that kid again. He never came to the Jersey Shore Fitness Shop again. Never one peep out of him. I heard he was doing gay for pay.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you confront people, and that think they're tough and, like you said, bodybuilders, but they are soft as baby tissue.
Yeah, so like in the beginning you guys opened up, and then there was people in the area trying to rep other brands and other gyms and like saying one thing on social media like Kingdom is the best gym in the world, blah blah blah. But meanwhile they're training in your gym,
Right.
wearing Aerie stuff.
Right.
So I had enough of it. So
Yeah.
I went up to the kid. I was like, what are you trying to take fucking money from me, bro? You trying to
Yeah. With one of your athletes.
with one of my athletes who he would also dress up in my competitor shit. So I said something to him, and little by little, all those dudes fell off. They don't come to the gym no more. They post their little,
Yeah.
and they're like a little group unto themselves. And good, let be over there, die together. I don't care.
Die together.
I don't care. Just go away.
You know who loves your stories is Pitbull Dave.
That's it. I
He's
never
going to
told.
really enjoy that story
he's
about
gonna.
Yusuf.
Yeah.
Sefbra. That was his name, little punk.
All right. So there's
He
the
was a
beef.
big boy too.
That's great.
He was a
Love
really
it.
big boy.
Yeah, he didn't throw one punch, nothing. Went to the ground. He was screaming,
I was
Help.
waiting.
help me.
I was waiting for the one in our gym to pop off, but I knew.
Bro, that shit wasn't gay. That kid's not built for nothing.
No.
Soft as tissue.
Um,
So I saw a great Netflix movie.
I did too. I think it was the same one.
What?
What
He's-
are you signed?
he's
You wanna-
signed. He's
That
tired.
was like a yawn.
He's
I'm
tired.
Like, I'm tired. I don't know what's wrong with
You
me.
want to wrap that conversation up? Are we done with it? I mean,
No, I'm down. Whatever you. I mean, I don't have anything else to say unless you want to like.
I'm the only one getting brolic here.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't care.